going on, gents? So today's random topic is, what's the biggest fault in KTM motorcycles, or you can say what's the lacking oversight in KTM engines per se. So let's get directly to the brass tacks. I don't want to make this video any longer than it's supposed to be. So the argument that goes is twofold. First, the KTM's engines are proper racing engines. Having such a racing setup compromises the reliability of the engine. But it would have been understandable if they would have let the engines extract their full potential, by revving as high as they want to. I mean, you guys all know how severely the limiter cuts in. Everyone complains about, oh, you are going full throttle and then bam, limiter, you gotta shift or you gotta lose power. So those engines are frantic top-end monsters. But the limiter kicks in too early and spoils all the fun. The gears are so short. I mean, you can't go full throttle and enjoy it, man. You have to shift gears and shift gears and shift gears. It just always runs too fast, too quickly into the limiter. That's the main problem. So if you are giving your bike a forced piston, a NICA seal cylinder, even DOHC, and you are not letting it rev past 12k or at least at 12.5k, then what the fuck are you doing, man? What the fuck are your engineers are doing? And the limiter, in spite of kicking in at 10,500 RPM, it can rev till 12k or at least 11.5, man, like this bike can, In only that case, the full potential of that engine can be utilized, At least 2 or 3 more bhp up top, more rev range to play with, hella more top speed. I mean, with that setup, the 200 can easily touch 145, the limiter fucks up at 136, and the 390 can easily touch 190, man. That would be super awesome. I know the KTM guys will claim that, nah man, we put the limiter to increase the reliability. You don't want your engine to be always having 10 plus K. Ooh, so much logic. But if you wanted to make your bike reliable, why the fuck up the compression ratio so much in the first place, man? What? You see, this bike is a low compression ratio, 9.5. It makes less power, but you can rev it till 12k in any gear without any problem for years and years and years. Why? Because it's reliable. Higher compression ratio makes an engine more prone to damage. That's why the KTM engines heat up so much, all the heating problem. No fan is going to fix that. Why? Because the bloody compression ratio is so much. It generates so much heat. So they designed a TNT and then they limited the fuse. I mean, what the fuck? See, I am not denying that if that engine will be let to rev till 12k or beyond, it will get damaged, sure. But if they have kept the compression ratio low and then they would have let the limiter rev till 12.5k, that engine will produce a phenomenally smooth power delivery and it will produce even more power. So say 48 PS would have been game on that bike. and quite beautifully, quite linearly with a potent top end. But what they have is a hokey pokey jerky soaky, and you learn limiter, you shift gear. What the fuck, man? You can't hold that, you know. You can't hold and enjoy it. It will go. So yeah, in ideal world, the compression ratio would have been low, the fueling would have been more linear, and the RPM limiter would have been at 12k or even above. And that would have been a perfect 370cc KTM engine. Alright guys, so since the blog has been done with, let's talk about what tutorial you guys want next. So yeah, vote for your favorite tutorial, just like you guys did in the car tuning video. So the topics are: first, how to get a launch properly, or you can say how to win drag races. Second, perfect clutchless upsets and downshifts is the topic number 2. And now we are going to enforce the topic number 3. The topic number 3 is how to know the top speed of any bike just by looking at its spec sheet. Proper science, man, proper engineering mathematics, and I will tell you guys how to know top speed of any bike just by looking at its spec sheet. Hey, vote now, vote now.